Good morning, Mr. Sunshine, Suraj Bhagwan. Today, I'm praying about yesterday, Sunday, January 8th, 2022. Bring these things before you in prayer is my day. That happened at work. EHRH. So I went into work, 6:30. I clocked in. I went to set up the dishwasher. When I did some breaking down, I went and did my English muffin toast and bring out the bread and the wheat bread and white bread. Excuse me. So when the toast was already gone through once and there was some to go through and I put them through twice and some more was left, I went to get the milk. So, because the toaster was full, and then I said I could just bring out the milk to the tray line and then I can finish off. So I go get the milk and take it to the tray line. And when I go back to finish off, Mr. David says, oh, he got that, which is nice of him, whatever. So he finish off that, he could do bread. But then he would have also bring one more wheat bread. But there was enough wheat bread and white bread there, but I brought another roll of wheat bread for him. So anyways, I then go in the tray line and doing my part and putting the spoons, the plasticware, and all the liquids on the trays, etc. But then I also, on the weekends, I have to push up the carts on the floor. So Superior was sitting down and Linda was checking. So when Linda done with the first cart 300, she must have set your phone for make false recordings and mutilate or whatever. She must have talking to your phone or whatever. But she didn't tell me anything that the cart was ready or whatever. But when she came back, otherwise we set in for the other cart, then she started saying, several minutes after, she started saying 300, 300, 300, just like that, just 300. Like, she didn't say the cart is ready or 300 is ready or whatever, like how they normally tell it or tell to everybody. But anyways, I went out and I pushed it up to 300. Then I came back, I continued to put in the liquids and the utensils, etc. The other cart done, she push it out, or sometimes she don't push it out and close it. I take it from there. She just tell me the number. Or sometimes she push it out and she close it, and then she waits a couple minutes and say it. But anyways, so that's what she was doing all along. But apart from that, on Friday night, one patient had continuously saying he cannot drink vanilla and sugar, it's chocolate and sugar. He can only drink chocolate and sugar. So Friday night, on his menu, I wrote right next to his name, I wrote a note, he can only drink chocolate and sugar, and I put the date on it that I wrote a note. And I put it right by the mouse, by the computer in the dietary office. So that was Friday night. So Saturday morning, Linda must have thrown it out. I should never make the note on the patient menu for him to get the chocolate and sugar. But when they're done, they're gonna say I put in it. But if it does say ensure, most of the patient would get vanilla and sugar. If it's specified chocolate and sugar, then the chocolate and sugar is put in it. But automatically, if it just say ensure, they get vanilla and sugar. Vanilla, when they say vanilla, they get vanilla. When they say chocolate, they get chocolate. But if it's just say ensure, they get vanilla. So that would go up for him again, but because I can't remember every single thing that every patient tells me, right? But that's why I wrote a note to leave it there, but she must have thrown it out and never write it on the patient menu. So that was one thing. And next thing, on Saturday, another patient asked me to help her fill out her menu for Sunday, and she told me everything that she asked me to read. So I read out the menu, everything that was on the menu for breakfast, and she said what she wanted, and everything was lunch. She said she doesn't eat pork. The pork was on the menu for lunch for Sunday, the menu that she had. She said she doesn't eat pork, so she wanted chicken. And then the morning time she wanted oatmeal with brown sugar. And she told me everything she wanted for dinner. So I write her menu. I write it on the menu and everything else. That was Saturday. When I was picking up for lunchtime trays. So I brought it down. I told Nicole that the menus are there and they're supposed to place on the desk. So between her and Linda, they must have thrown it out, because yesterday when I'm doing the tray line, I did not see any menu with my handwriting on it. And when I was picking up trays, the patient told me she did not get the brown sugar. And then at lunchtime, she did not get what she requested for lunch either. So they must have thrown away the menu. But you see, one thing I didn't remember to do was to take a picture of her menu when I helped her to fill it out. So she asked me, she said she had a problem with her eyes. And that's why she asked me to do it. And she asked me my name more than once. But anyways, you witness, you see, you know the hands and what I do. You're gracious and precious, you're noble and kind. So anyways, yesterday I had to help 2 patients make their juvie and give it to them when they asked me to. But coming back to that, so we finished eventually with the breakfast line yesterday. And they always, for 32 years, they have to exist. All the kitchen staff get all the meals, breakfast, lunch, dinner, everything, and the plus, majority of them pack and carry home. When they pack a food box, it can feed 4 people. And then I witness and see, and they continue to do it, but they're only complaining against me, and the director, the nutrition service director, only sneaking around and watching me. And for that, she's seen me, even though one time she lied about it and make false recording just because they're making false recording. Anyways, so after the breakfast line was done, and then I restock everything. Superior help restocking, even though Ms. Jones has claimed I have to do all the restocking, that cold prep have too much to do. And so, but whenever Superior work for Sendong, she've always done what's right, and she always restock. And she restock, but no one else don't do it. Even one day when they did not restock, I was told 2 people work at the middle of the line that day. 2 people work, but nothing was restocked. And the nutrition director telling me must make sure I restock the night, and I did restock. But God is great, and God is great. I had restocked that refrigerator the day when they all go push their head in the refrigerator, and it was only 2 things. Needed a couple more cans in it, the V8 juice and ginger ale and the pine out. And I had already took it and replaced it, but I was just telling him what happened, where the people who work the weekends did not restock. But he shouted and top his voice and top his lungs, God, you witness. We put Cheryl for watching and said she could be a witness and make false recording. Pause it when he yell and he flare up his hands twice and say how he don't care what happened to the weekends. That's actually, I cannot bring nothing to his attention. He don't care about me, because the nutrition director sit down in front of HR and said nobody cares about me, etc. But you witness it and you hear it, and with your grace and your power, you're gonna deal with it according to your will. And so that was that. I restock the middle, everything, do the coffee and everything, and then I go breaking down 1 cart and clear up that, and then Superior go breaking down the other cart, and I push through the dishes and stuff, and then we went and pick up. So when I pick up, I have the 2 patients, make their juvie and drink it, and everything else. But on the 300 and 100, the nurses who work over there are people, other staff, they pick up the trays or help pick up those trays. But on the 200 side, nobody picks up the trays. But there is one woman who sits down there and watch me all the time, and then she will point fingers and say, you go in that room, you left a tray, and them kind of stuff. So one patient, the same patient who had a call back for the scrambled eggs yesterday, she had a patient in her wheelchair moving her along the passageway to get to the patient by the window. So she was blocking the passageway when I picked up the patient tray. So I came out back to the cart and I was going to go back there. Then she had us at, oh, you left a tray in here. I said I was coming back and you were blocking the way with the patient when you put her back to to her table at the side of her bed, then the passageway clear for me to go to back there. So anyways, that's what this woman is doing. So I did that. I helped whatever help they asked for as much as possible and stuff. And I came down, we break down, we put away stuff. Well, whenever anybody else is breaking down, they're parking all the cart, just pushing it to the side down there, and it will block up the way to come out. So I couldn't come out with like some of the plates and hot plates. That's really make the thing heavy to push and pull. I could have bring out half set and then go for next half set. So all was pack up and pile up on there. So at the end of it, we bring them out, we put them away. And so now we're working the lunch line. And now we're working the lunch line. Linda sanding down. I put in a plastic wire as well as the IC and other things, and Nicole checking. So the Linda constantly they're laughing and asking Superior what you say, and she going on and on. She carrying on, plus she eating the vanilla wafer and pushing her hand in the cups of the vanilla wafer and pushing it to her mouth and using the same hand for do the patient tray. But she's now looking at herself and she's not seeing herself what she's doing. But you witness it and see it, dear God. No camera is seeing her. But then I just turned around and my butt, was by the shelf. And she goes, oh, you can't put your booty there, people chair go down there. But she got an oversized booty, dear God. And when she spin around, where you think she booty grazing or touching? That same shelf. But they don't see themselves. And I am not lying, God. I am not lying. And the fact that I'm not lying, they're going to suffer the consequences. Someday, somehow, it's going to flash back to them. Somehow, they're going to meet it and see it. I remember everything they said to me and everything they do. But that's not all. That was done. They did Cheryl. Oh, she pretend to be this goody with a suck up a kiss up ass with David and I say whatever. And then when she done, she quietly and she gossip with Superior. Then when Linda was doing that and eating the vanilla wafer, and so she put Linda aside in the stock room. She go carry she and tell she gossip to she. And Linda come back and Linda was quiet. Nicole, when she come in, she does also, she's trying to get, almost everybody does it, Something she's stomach and something hot or whatever. But now that they can, the tray line thing, they try to show, because they set thing for me in the stock room, whatever. So she went in there and drinking her soup or whatever. And then Cheryl go and quietly go and tell she whatever she gonna tell she, against me. So she come out and then so when Linda come out back, Linda get quiet. She not laugh, she not do all the stuff that she was doing and carrying on and lawless and brawling and everything else. But so when we done with the tray line and I restock everything, there was no spoon at the back where all the other boxes and covers and cups and stuff are. There was no spoon there, just like the Friday when I worked cafeteria, there was no spoon in the plasticware in the cafeteria. And I told Neil, because he normally just put the boxes inside of there, so there was no spoon in the back there. So I told Superior, but everything else was fully restocked. And then I was going to take my break. Well, they finished, I think like 12 or 10 after. And I'm supposed to go on break at 12 o'clock. And then I got to do callbacks. But what they decided to do against me, because what Cheryl going to tell them, is to bring out one callback. So Nicole bring out the callback and put it there. So when I go for clock out, and she didn't say anything to me. So when I go for clock out for break, then press phone inside of there and they're making recordings and small false recordings. So they press their phone and stuff, and then Nicole says, Sunita, she moved from where the phone and she got till by the door and she shouted, Sunita, you have a call back. So I was like, okay. She said, you have to check the tray line. And then the Linda pressing phone and I received the phone because she already talking to the phone. She goes in, she didn't even ask us. And so I didn't say anything. I went and I get the stuff and I took it up for the callback. And I think that was 100 side. Then when I come back, but just as I walking in the room, Nicole watching Linda, they're watching each other, they got phone set and stuff. And Nicole walk out and she go put the next call back there. There was no call back she put up down there when I came in. So then Nicole come back and says, so you have another call back. You gotta check the tray line, you gotta check the tray line. And then Linda saying the same thing. Oh, she didn't even ask us, she didn't even ask us, whatever. So I went and I took that one and I think it was 200 side. So when I come back again, and I go in the room for clock out, Nicole has another call back for the 100 side now. So they're doing it one at a time. And when she says, and the lady don't even want peaches, she goes, you going on break? You half hour, right? That can wait. The lady got food or whatever. And so I went on break because she said that, but they're talking to the phone, they're muting the phone, they're saying something different, and they're making false recordings, and they're lying desperately. And I went on break and I came back 3 minutes early and I took up the lady peaches. A bunch of them on the floor was gang up in front of the lady door, and they're flaring their hands and they're carrying on and stuff, and they're watching me. But one woman from the desk on the 100 side, she resembled a woman in our community that's been harassing me. So I don't know if she's related to the woman or their friends or sisters or what. But anyways, that's happening. So I carry it up and I come back. And when I come back, Nicole is saying things like if somebody says something to hurt her, she don't care, she's sorry, but she's gonna say back things to hurt them. And the Cheryl was still eating the ravioli over the food and so pushing it in her mouth and staring at me. She did all that and stuff, same thing. Eating and walking around, and David watching. What would I tell him? You know, quiet. Well, God is with us in them. So I came back with that. I go pick up my cards, come back and break down, and finish the Cheryl called Matthew out for a long time and should influence him. And when she whatever she tell him, then at the end of when we done, he pull out the 2 baskets from the thing and tell what she must set for video or record or whatever, and tell me if me can wash those out quickly. When he come back, he can put them in. So I wash it too. But anyways, when I done and I ready, I all finished and throw out the garbage and stuff. I went and I clocked out, and they all watching me like hawk. But I clocked out, it was like 10 minutes after 3. Nahika already bring out the milk and iced tea for do dinner line at 10 after 3. At 3:30, Cheryl tell me that too early for bring out the milk and the iced tea for do dinner line, that I got wait until 3:45. But they don't think. So anyways, as I was leaving, I saw the cafeteria all nasty and nothing. Most of the stuff is not restocked, like cups for the coffee, and how the counter by the cafeteria, and all the tables are nasty. And usually they have a pastor that come volunteer at the hospital and have Bible studies on Sundays at 3 o'clock. So the pastor and 2 other people was there. So I joined them, but I could see how nasty, everything is. And it's the same stuff that you do on Saturday, you gotta do on Sunday, plus making the salads on Sundays. So God in heaven knows what she did or how many salads she makes and lunch boxes, but I saw patient's stock was already prepared. So, and I know she's coming at 2, but she at 3:10 she's already there at the dinner line. And I know when she finished early, she leaves early. They all do. But anyways, so I stayed with the Bible studies, but of course I know after the first time that they had asked me to join the Bible study, and Barbara, one of the ladies in the Bible study, had offered me, ride home because she is on her way home. She lives in Plantation. They influence them, they talk my name with them and stuff. So the pastor asked me something about my job, and I mentioned it. And he says, as a patient's mean, and I say, yes, it's some of them, but some staff also. So he says, but instantly he jumped on the staff side and say how it's hard for them too. But anyways, I know they influence them. I know how they since they influence them, how they just looking at me, and they would say, if I say hi or hello, they would answer and stuff. But that was it. We sing, we pray, and we left, and the lady gave me a ride home. She asked me about my foot and stuff, and I tell her, but I guess I can't tell them any details. I can't tell them anything because the doctors them talk to me or whatever and tell me I don't have anything on writing, so it doesn't matter what I say. Anyways, the end. But she gave me a ride home. She didn't mind because it's on her way. So this was Sunday, January 8, 2022. My prayers, Surge Bhagwan.